In the blue, we have Rubenstock, the king of TC dropping. I have seen a much weaker player, no offense, Yupe, in Yupe, TC drop on this map before and beat someone, very big name, named Fire. So as Rubenstock's going for a different approach, keep in mind, if he wants to do it, it has worked before.
Yeah, in fact, he's the one that actually published the TC drop build order on the internet. So
True.
whoever is actually reading that comes from Rubenstock.
Yep. So there's been an approach with Lithuanians where you go to wood early because you start with 150 food. You don't send 6 to food. And with that wood, you dock and then you make fishing ships early. Now, Persians are underrated with a similar strategy because they receive plus 50 food and plus 50 wood at the start, meaning you can dock right away and make a fishing ship. And this is after 2 houses. So I don't think this is going to be a TC drop for Rubenstock. I think that he just wants to gain a lead with the fishing ship. Then you have Hart on the other side. And Hart has gone for Portuguese. And I think this is the first time that I've seen Portuguese on this map.
Yeah, it is the first time I can confirm that. And I have no idea why he did this.
I feel like there's a lot of civs available for this besides Portuguese. Like, I'd have to look back at his draft. But Huns, Persians, Berbers maybe, Byzantines we've seen, Japanese, Lithuanians even. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, Malay is also an option.
Yeah.
And he has Italians, but I guess that goes for islands, I
Probably.
believe, if you have islands.
Yep.
Yeah. So he doesn't really have another amazing civ for this. I feel like the Italians and Portuguese double pick is just because many people are sniping Italians and you cannot pick Portuguese to have a backup civ for islands.
Yep.
But because it wasn't sniped, you might as well use it on this map.
Hart is very well aware that Rubenstock scout is around here, and good work from him as he gets a hit in on that scout. I think if you're able to have consistent food eco, quick gate from Hart, nice moves. Just passing with the goats here is Rubenstock. But anyways, if you're able to have consistent food eco with fishing ships and TC drop someone, I mean, that spot in front of Hart's TC is just asking for a douche, right? And look at the amount the Rubenstock has on wood. He's going to TC drop this game. You're kidding me.
Yeah, he's gonna. I was about to say that is way too many Voyagers on wood for a build like this. I feel like TC drop here could be a little stronger than Arabia, though, if you think about that, because you will have the fishing eco at the back of your base that could actually compensate you for having a little bit lesser of an eco.
Oh my god. I mean, he's going to go forward in a bit. I'm just wondering... Like, Hart's gonna probably, let's say Hart wins this series, he's gonna send a message to one of his friends and just be like, can I have actual practice, please? Because that series was not practice for the next round at all. Oh my god, Hart's still at home right now, and his scout is currently sitting where I'm sure Rubenstock wants to place his town center.
Here we go. It is only 9 Voyagers pulled. You could pull a 10th one, and one thing that Rubenstock always says when you do a douche is bring your sheep. Because if you bring your sheep, you will be able to take that sheep with your new TC. That's extremely important when it comes to pushing.
Hart's going to see the vills. Hart's going to see the vills. What does Hart do? You can place houses and palisade foundations. Just to briefly explain this for anyone who's new, the TC drop works because Persian town centers have more HP than average town centers, and you have to delete your starting TC and rebuild one. So far from Hart, he's seen the villagers, but no reaction at all. Hart, you know his reputation, right?
And the ideal spot here is to drop the TC on the berries as well. That's a very decent spot. It's super close. I think it also denies the repairs. It's so close.
Oh my god. So the TC at home has been deleted. And Hart seems like he's just going to let it happen and maybe think about relocating, I guess. And here comes the sheep. So he's bringing his sheep forward. And Rubenstock can take the berries. Rubenstock will garrison and eventually shoot this down, and Hart is on his way to feudal age right now. So let's talk about the decisions, Lita, because it's funny, but it's extremely complicated because the idea from Rubenstock is that he will always have a TC. He will consistently create vills. When Hart goes feudal age, that TC's idle, researching the upgrade, and then he's going to need to find a spot for new villagers. So as someone who has studied the TC drop, key here for Hart is to make good decisions with his stone, because if he makes a tower, he won't be able to afford a TC, and also make quick decisions on where he's going to take wood. Second thing is going to be make sure that if you can float the wood, get a dock up on Rubenstock's pond, because Rubenstock's fishing ships he's adding them right now. He's going to continue to add them and have untouched food eco. That was a mouthful. Sorry.
Yeah, you are completely right. Like, Rubenstock is definitely dropping a house on that stone mine. So the thing is that he could try starving his opponent out of stone here when it comes to TC drop. And I was looking at that PC and I was like, maybe Hart needs to repair this a bit if he wants to go up to feudal.
That's true. Yeah, it was close. Hart just lost a villager. You're right. That TC's so close that it actually can snipe some of the repair villagers. Okay, now Hart's in feudal, but look at the eco lead for Rubenstock. Hart, it takes a lot of resources to repair a TC. So it's not going to be so easy for him to just lose his and rebuild one, because Rubenstock might even Vil rush him then.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that like Rubenstock was trying to disrupt the lumberjacking. On the other side, you have to relocate your wood line. And really the bottleneck when it comes to replacing your TCs is wood. So one of the ways that you can battle a TC drop like this is once again counterattacking with a couple of archers. If you hit the opponent's wood eco, that should be fine.
Rubenstock in this position frequently Vil rushes. He does not want you to get your TC up. So he is going to send villagers after Hart's woodline. And I think Hart's rebuilding a TC or thinking about it. So Hart hasn't quick walled the woodline. Hart could lose these Vils. And Rubenstock's trying to wall him in. And Hart reacts and gets out of here with the villagers. It's so messy. But it's Rubenstock.
Yeah, that is, I think, a very, very good summary of the entire series so far.
All right. Hart making a new TC on the other side of the woodline. Rubenstock scouting that and is aware of that now. Hart should save these villagers, but you can see because the TC's up, because of Rubenstock's resources, Rubenstock is consistently creating Vils. No worries there. And Vil fighting like game one, no armor upgrades, but getting a kill and can just micro the weak ones back to his home.
Yeah, now, one of the underrated things that Hart has done is using mobility of his Feudal Age Scout against Dark Age Scout, and Ruben lost his Scout, so he will have no information on where the new TCs come up.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to need to have information at this point, though, because he knows the TC's there. So I don't know if he really needs to know too much. And Hart is... I mean, Hart has lost 4 villagers. Rubenstock has lost 0. It's 35 eco versus 25. This is working. And to make matters even crazier for the people who don't know this, Rubenstock uses a cube mod. So the trees are just cubes. Just green blobs. The gold is just yellow blobs. His game looks ridiculous. His game plays ridiculous, but it's all about efficiency.
Yeah, it's crazy how many weird things the Suomi players do overall. It's Rubenstock with the cube mods. Back then, other Suomi players played that. But also, if you remember, for example, from Suomi, Viles is using only one finger to click 2 mouse buttons.
Did he change the way he does that, by the way? I see there's a lot of Finnish players in chat. You might be able to let us know. Yeah, he would use his pointer finger to click both sides of the mouse for a while.
I don't know if he changed that. My last info is from ECL LAN, and we have a clip about that.
Yeah, okay, he did apparently change that, yeah. But look at Rubenstock's plan. He's on the way to Feudal Age now. He could just send a villager over and dock Hart's pond. His pond has not been docked yet. Hart's got an archer, but I think Rubenstock will see the archers and think, that's not actually that big a deal if I take out his fishing ships. And he still has food income to maybe make something like scouts.
Yeah, and honestly, a couple of scouts from Rubenstock here could actually be pretty devastating. And we also have to keep in mind that Ruben will be able to access stone, whereas his opponent won't. So, for example, Hart cannot counter tower right now. Ruben could drop a tower and suddenly deny all that wood and gold.
Rubenstock losing villagers, but realizing it's not too bad for me, actually. And fletching archers for Hart. Good job from him to get fletching in. Still looking around. Okay, here, this is something that probably could have happened earlier for Hart. But he is now going to make a forward dock on Rubenstock's pond. And maybe he got the idea from the fact that Rubenstock was trying to do it at Hart's pond. And Hart is denying that with Vils right now. Or is he?
Is he? Is he?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Wait a second, Hart. Chop that tree and then palisade it. He could palisade hop that tree.
Yeah, he can. He can absolutely do that, but the dock goes up, and this is a Persian dock as well, which means it's working faster, it is higher HP. So getting rid of this is going to be awfully hard for Hart.
Yeah, well, it's going to be awfully awkward for Rubenstock. He's getting towered. Archers are here. Man, Hart is so fast. They don't really get to see how he typically plays in this series because Rubenstock's a crazy player, but Hart's very, very, very high pressure player, constantly putting you under some type of duress. Look at the resources for Rubenstock. Is he somehow going to click up to Castle Age?
This is the build that we call Slow Castle.
Slow soul, man. Get it right. I think, is the response here from Hart to send his villagers over to the berries of Rubenstock and like take the boar and whatnot for food? Because if he starts to lose fishing ships, I mean, even without losing fishing ships, he really doesn't have a lot going on when it comes to food. And if he does end up getting food, it's going to take time as he needs to dock additional pawns.
Yeah, now, fun fact, Persian knights actually do more damage against archers, so if Rubenstock gets up into castle here, and he gets a couple of knights out, that's going to be a very, very easy cleanup against Hart's archers.
Yep. Honestly, and forgetting that Civ bonus, just 2 knights with armor, and Hart loses everything. The skirmishers were probably was just a knee-jerk reaction from Rubenstock after the pressure, but he's looking at his position now. He's going to click up the Castle Age, and he's not going to have any worries, I don't think. A good job and good defense from Hart, though, on the pond in the east. And then also great offensive pressure, taking out the fishing ships from Rubenstock in the west. Very important as Rubenstock's docking the south, and Hart is docking the north at the same time.
Yeah, if you're Rubenstock, you could seriously consider just sending a couple of villagers to stone. You know where the TC is at, so technically with a couple of knights, you can even castle drop your opponent. Like, send 8-9 villagers to stone, and you can actually pile up enough stone for a castle drop by the time you reach castle.
I really wonder if Hart is one of the best players for Rubenstock to try these strats against, as far as the top 10 seeded players go. Because Hart was gone from the scene for so long, and Hart probably doesn't know Rubenstock's reputation like others. I'm sure he's heard. Nikov probably sent him a text and was like, good luck against that madman today or something. But like, since Hart was gone for so long, he probably didn't watch the legend videos. He probably didn't experience it in ranked games because Rubenstock plays at a different time than him. Hart might, I mean, he certainly underreacted when the TC was going to go up and he saw the villagers. He didn't even try and palisade it. He's probably going to see the Castle Age time from Hart, or from Ruben, excuse me, and be very surprised.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, oh boy, now we're in trouble. Now, there is no stables coming in here from Ruben, or there is the stable on the north. Oh my goodness.
Yep, that makes sense. He's in the north, Randomville. He's also docked there and making fire galleys. Now, this is not the first time we've seen this strategy, Lida. I know MBL was doing it in ranked games. Rubenstock and Yupe, I think, started it. But it's honestly amazing because if you can shake up the mentality of the enemy, they just don't know what to do. I mean, Hart's making a scout right now to deal with skirms. Rubenstock was never going to invest in more than just a few skirmishers.
Yeah, indeed. And he's gonna wait. I think that's a good decision from Ruben. He's not unleashing the first knight and showing it. He's gonna wait until he's got free.
This is over, isn't it? It feels like this game is over the second knights show up. Hart is forever feudal. He does not have economy.
Yeah, I feel like now you really start taking over the game with knights, and then potentially, as I said, a castle drop could be an option. You, I think, need something that finishes off the TC of the opponent, though.
I mean, or you just boom from here. If you're killing villagers with knights, you could just turn this into a second TC, start adding farms at some stage, and just boom a little bit. It's not a real boomy position, but there's nothing Hart can do against knights except for quick walls. And his main gold can't be taken. Rubenstock's already mining away at that. And there's a mill. That's the first time that Rubenstock has even had a mill in this game. So he's building a mill after the berries are gone. And now he can farm. There we go. That makes sense.
Yeah, better late than never.
All right. I just assumed, forgive me for assuming, people, that he would have had a mill already, all right? 25 minutes into the game, I assumed he would have one. Now he's got 2 knights microing against the spearmen, a couple knights coming in against the woodline. Hart might be tilting here. Hart might need to accept that this game is over pretty soon. We might see rams coming from the Siege Workshop.
Yeah, now he definitely is in trouble because, like, Castle Age units against Feudal Age units is a so huge power spike that it is nearly impossible to overcome like a sustained long field age against castle age units.
Honestly, Hart, if I were to give you life advice right now, I'd say rip the Band-Aid off and just call the GG. The more that you try here, I'd admire it. Well, actually, hold on a moment. I didn't realize he could abuse the market to that degree. He is still in this. He's going to continue to try. And the fishing ships that he has are going to give him some type of a lifeline, I think, for now. And maybe Rubenstock should focus on the other pawns for now.
Yeah, I feel like the problem is going to be that those fishing ships will run out of food soon. And you will need fish traps if you don't actually have food for yourself.
That's what sucks. But then again, Rubenstock is just now adding farms. His food eco's not the best either. Rubenstock chasing down the villagers from Hart. And Hart, 2 games in a row, is just relocating to corners. This is one of the crazier sets we've seen. Probably the craziest set in terms of the strategies we've seen so far in the qualifier.
Yeah, absolutely. We have seen some crazy strats overall, but I feel like Ruben is doing something special here for us.
Yeah. Well, it's not a crazy strategy that works one time out of 100. Rubenstock has shown us that he can do this in tournaments. Look at Hart's trying to run to the north, but there's already knights waiting for him. Rubenstock has Hart surrounded. Fortunately for Hart, he has spearmen and archers with this group. Look at how crazy. I mean, Hart doesn't even have his base anymore.
Yeah, it's sort of turning into Nomad. Rubenstock is like, oh, T90 forgot to add Nomad into the hidden cup. Well, let's try to change this.
I mean, 3 Scorpions and this amount of Knights is amazing against the army composition that Hart has. So now Hart knows that he's been spotted. He's abandoning that lumber camp. He's going back to his TC. Again, pick Berbers when you're up against Rubenstock so your villagers can run away faster. That's your best strategy, apparently. And Rubenstock can't find him. Yeah, Rubenstock doesn't know he went back. What a play from Hart. Oh my god.
They are playing hide and seek over here, and he's like, where is he at? Where is he at? Imagine if Rubenstock had a tower on that wood line, or that gold, by the way.
Yeah. Or just leave a Scorpion there. The Scorpion would have been so good. Now there can be some Knights for Hart. And you mentioned the fish. He won't run out of fishing in the north or in the south for quite some time. He could send more fishing ships there. The other ponds are running out, though. There's Rubenstock underneath the town center. Hart with some excellent quick walls, but here come the Scorpions. But also, there's a knight from Hart.
Oh, but those are some nice hits that the Scorpions are having over there.
I'm so impressed with Hart and his ability to stay alive in these games. And here he goes. Scorpions are going to go down. It's 76 population versus 53. While there's a lot on water for Hart, Rubenstock, he's going to have more than just a few Knights and Scorpions now. Hart has stayed alive yet again. 2 epic games in a row where the strategy has just been unbelievable from Rubenstock and the defense as well from Hart.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that Hart needs to do in this situation, I think he's doing that well, is not panic. Because the biggest thing that could go wrong when you're up against a strategy like this, panic.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, that quick wall there from Hart, he pre-walled that. So the Knights and Cav Archers couldn't get back over to the base of Rubenstock, which I'll now call this his. Rubenstock's economy, not looking great. His pond control, not looking great. And you look at the score now. You look at the amount of villagers on each resource. The one real problem for Hart is gold. But there's gold elsewhere to find. Hart is doing an okay job.
Yeah, in fact, Rubenstock's original base is full of gold. So
yeah,
technically, there is so much. I think in Cross, there is even more neutral gold than on standard maps, or like standard Arabia, for example.
In total, there's 2 additional tiles compared to other maps. Is 4 2-tile neutrals as opposed to 2 3-tile neutrals, which means it's 8 versus 6. A lot of reason to expand all over the map. And Hart, again, killing Vils. What an impressive hold. You know, one thing it's not very glamorous and it's not very wild, so at times we weren't looking at it, as the Scorpions get some massive hits, were the ponds. Somehow Hart was able to get every single pond, leading to keeping himself alive here.
Yeah, it's very debatable if having a map like this is good for TC dropping or not, because the argument is that the TC dropping player will have a better eco with the pond, but it also gives a bigger recovery chance for the player that is getting TC dropped.
But if you look at the investment, he's got like 3 minimum. Oh, damn it. As I say that, I see 2. Okay, let's say 2 fires minimum in each pond. And at some point, there was Rubenstock contesting for that. But Rubenstock goes in with knights. And I think if Rubenstock can just invest into land control now, that he'll be in a fine position because Hart is kind of all over the place. There's no structure. You see these villagers. Those are free kills for Rubenstock. So many scorpions for Rubenstock, who's keeping himself in this, despite Hart's amazing hold.
I think the problem that Hart is facing right now is that his main army is crossbows, and they're slow catching up with this one. And Ruben, as I said, I feel like he needs a castle so that he can actually knock Hart out of this game a little bit. As Hart will probably have to go for his own knights, but even then, Ruben can go for camels.
And monks. And monks is the big one here. He's got monks behind the scorpions, so at any point, as Hart is doing the right thing to make mangonels, but if the knights come in, Rubenstock's ready to convert them. And Rubenstock is on 2 town centers right now. What a ridiculous game. Another one, if you just got here midway through, you'd be confused by. But we can only explain it by the name Rubenstock.
Yeah, exactly. Rubenstock's food eco isn't satisfactory for 2 TCs though, but now he's sending the villagers to stone. I feel like that is the move that he has to make, because if he destroys this TC from Hart with a castle, Hart is gonna have a tough time relocating elsewhere.
I think Rubenstock should buy 300 food, get his wood upgrade, get his farm upgrade, and just turn this into a standard game from here. The fact that his food eco is not great is hurting him right now. If he had standard, like, solid farm eco, then he could justify losing a few knights here or there with these continuous raids. So that would be what I would say. I see that he's now sending some knights back over to what was his starting base, looking to see what Hart's up to, but he did not scout that 4-tile gold that Hart is currently mining.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense for him. He probably is playing for resource control.
Yeah.
As he's also dropping outposts on the southern part of the map. He probably figured out from a previous game, and that might be helpful for him that he played so long in that one, that the only way that Hart was able to survive is by taking the neutral resources.
Yeah, that's true. Games are similar in that sense. The knights go in after the Mangonel. They should take out that Mangonel. Hart repairing, though. Yeah, that Mangonel is going to be a goner. And that was important for Hart, too, because now Scorpions are coming in. He doesn't have a Mango. Yeah, another one's not even on the way yet. The pressure's on the wood line. They have to abandon yet another wood line.
And just look at the military numbers. It's much better for Hart, but all of it is fire galleys, basically. He's got a couple of crossbows and spearmen, and that's it.
Yeah, this is insane. And the knights are getting converted as they go in after the scorpions, the villagers, and the sheep. Rubenstock said, bring the sheep, right? Hart's learning. They're going back over to a lumber camp that I think was there this whole time. I think that placement was never deleted.
Has knights over there as well.
Yeah. I see that. There's so much to look at. And Rubenstock will get a few conversions, but Hart swoops in and takes out monks and scorpions. Rubenstock's knights are just waiting to see the villagers. Yep, and he'll find the kills. This must be so tilting for Hart.
Make it stop. Ruben is close to actually dropping a castle. I feel like now if he wants to go full memes, he actually makes a war elephant here for us.
I don't think Hart's the type of player that you want to motivate by doing that. You know, like, I think Hart's the guy, you get him a little angry, which that would do. I think Hart gets motivated by that. I think you just be annoying and nice. Like, there's nothing worse than losing to a guy doing this, and they, like, smile all the time. And we're like, oh, good luck next game. You know, when someone's doing this crap to you, you almost want them to be BM. You almost want them to be mean. And that's it with Rubenstock, too. He is such a nice guy. He still does this crap and makes your life a living hell.
Yeah, exactly. He's such a nice person. Hart is nowhere to go. He's moving left, moving right. It's absolutely the situation where it's like, where do I even go?
This is what I was going to say 15 minutes ago. Hart, rip the Band-Aid off. Just call it quits and get this game out of your mind. Don't let this linger, you know? He sees the score, and water score is probably the only reason he's in this game. Having Navy and having fishing ships boosts your score a lot here. But he does not have this game, or at least it doesn't seem like it. He's completely surrounded. Rubenstock looking for him, as Rubenstock is going to even go to his main gold in a second and control that too.
Yeah, and the thing is that Ruben is getting close to a castle. Hart finally finds a wood line at the starting base of Rubenstock, but as you said, The problem is that there's just no army here for Hart to stop these knights from raiding everything.
Yeah. I mean, Hart is a great hide-and-go-seek player. Because the amount of times that Rubenstock has gone to an area and Hart has already left is impressive. In fact, if we have the time, I'd like to count how many lumber camps Hart has had in this game.
A lot.
Because I would guess that he has over 10 lumber camps. And maybe even the mining camps too. But it's just constant pressure from Rubenstock. In his game, the game is simplified by a bunch of cubes, and so he just continues to run over to the yellow cubes and the green cubes to see which wood lines and golds are being taken. Hart's still trying, and Hart, population-wise, still in it, but I think we can see realistically he's falling way behind in some important categories.
Yeah, and like now he's going to have to start making fish traps with those fishing ships because it was so long.
Yep, exactly.
And he still doesn't have the wood.
Yeah, the pond on the right, can't really afford that. Pond on the left, about to run out of fish. Pond in the south, he's still got fish, and some in the north too, but he doesn't have many fishing ships. Gold is becoming a problem for him as he loses 2 more villagers here. Well, game 1 was really close. Rubenstock almost got the win. And this game, I think he's finally going to get it.
Yeah, exactly. Just look at the voyage idle time from Hart. He's at 5 hours of voyage idle time.
This is unbelievable. 5 hours of villager idle time in a 45-minute game? What?
That wood line over there on the left because he's getting the outpost up.
Oh, well, there's a crossbowman there, so the crossbowman could deny the outpost. Or it's like, don't let them see. Don't let them see. Ah! Okay, she will probably die. It's a doubt post. 85%. Doubt post. 96%. Yeah, now he runs immediately. Yeah, okay, he's going to drop a TC there. He's worried about the pressure.
Ruben has been selling stone for quite a while instead of actually making castle, and now there's a lot of spearmen coming out, and suddenly Hart seems to be a little bit stronger on land than he used to be a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah. The spearmen are a terrifying sight, and Hart's still just like, he'll get a conversion here or there. We'll make a knight here or there to take out a scorpion. Converting knights and killing scorpions, it's an expensive loss for Rubenstock. But I think Rubenstock feels like this is going to hit a point where he can afford to take the losses because he'll have all the gold control. But he's good at getting in strong positions. Rubenstock's not great at closing it out. Hart continues to be a threat.
Yeah, now Rubenstock is going to send the knights to the left side, but as you said, the TC is already up. Ruben now has a 22 Voyagers lead, though, which is something that is not to be overlooked.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot on food. Finally got some important eco upgrades. And a castle drop feels like it could end the game because the map is already sectioned off so badly for Hart. If the castle goes up on Rubenstock's main gold, and by that I mean his actual main gold, not Hart's main gold, then that denies stones, those villagers die, and Hart's just kind of trapped. He can't really push Persians with their tanky TCs on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, the map presence from Rubenstock is pretty nice overall. So he's actually camping a lot of wood lines, dropping a lot of outposts for vision.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go to his Fog of War on my side real quick. He's just waiting to see any sign of the enemy. And this is maybe the one area that he'll be surprised to see. Finds the TC here. Hart hasn't garrisoned his TC yet. And immediate castle drop from Rubenstock. This game is going to go to Rubenstock. Getting the wheelbarrow upgrade at 50 minutes. And yet he's going to do it after a TC drop and a big, big stage.
Yeah, and now pikemen are out, but I think it's too late. It's way too late. Because Ruben's eco is pretty nice overall. And the interesting thing is that Hart's APM and overall his macro is very good, but when there is so many places to focus, it doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, you're still reacting, right? Instead of being proactive. And it just like, this TC drop strat really gives Rubenstock an idea of where he needs to focus. It's almost like it's easier for him to make it, to turn the game into a massive mess, and then he can just pick a few spots to keep an eye on the entire time. I mean, Hart will have fished through most of these ponds, but I don't see what he can do now. And now he'll see the score switch too, and he probably has been feeling like this game is going wrong for him. Again, rip the Band-Aid off. I'm telling you, I can't knock someone for continuing to play. He should realistically continue to play. I always worry for someone's mental state, though, if they're tilted and they continue to play on in this type of a scenario.
Yeah, he's really trying. Like, he's making galleys on the right-hand side pawn to deny the wood line from Rubenstock, but it's 96 against 56.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, every time we say this, Hart shows why he should continue to stay in the game. A good Mangonel micro on the right side. He's got some monks and pikemen there, which in theory are really good. Rubenstock still just all over the place with the knights. And I guess you could try and dock if you're Rubenstock and make fires if there's any fish traps out there. I think just defensive siege right now. Maybe siege light cav, or even your own pikeman could clear this little push from Hart.
and Ruben's map presence, I think Hart actually tapped out as he saw the knights coming to his gold mine. He was like, okay, I'm out, boys.
Which one?
The far left one that was originally belonging to Rubenstock, but then Hart took over.
I see. Yeah. Okay. This one. I think this is technically a neutral gold, but I think when Rubenstock's playing in a game, every gold's neutral. Like it's just like when laming is allowed and MBL's playing, that the boars aren't necessarily yours. You're not stealing boars when MBL's playing. MBL's like, this is fair game. I'm allowed to take that. FYI. What a game. The score is 1-1. I still say that Hart is favored to win this series as long as he can get past the mental hurdles. But what wild strategy is Rubenstock going to go for next?
Good question. I need to get the rec for this.
Yeah, I'm still not finished dealing with this myself. But let's look at the statistics real quick, I guess, Lita, before we hop in. There's the KD from Rubenstock, 130 kills, 100 units lost. More food and more gold control, and I think the stone and gold ended up being the difference. The timeline. Whoa! Holy crap! And that probably comes down to the timeline being a very deceiving thing. The military was stronger for Rubenstock. He had low numbers of knights. Hart had a bunch of fire ships and just a few archers and spearmen. So eventually Rubenstock climbed his way back into it. My goodness.